In the heart of western Kenya, where the vast waters of Lake Victoria mirror the African sky, a story has been whispered through generations, a tale that resonates with power, love, and tragedy. This is the legend of Lwanda Magere, the stone warrior, a hero whose very being defied the laws of nature. Imagine a time of fierce tribal conflicts, a time when the Luo people looked to one man as their unshakable shield. That man was Lwanda Magere. He wasn't just a warrior. He was a phenomenon, a force of nature walking among mortals. It was said that the gods themselves had forged his skin from the hardest rock, making him impervious to any weapon. Spears would shatter, swords would bend, and arrows would fall harmlessly at his feet. With Lwanda Magere at the helm, victory for the Luo was not just a hope, it was a certainty. For their rivals, the Nandi, he was a recurring nightmare. Every raid, every battle, ended in their defeat, all because of this single, invincible man. Frustration and desperation grew in their ranks. How could they defeat a man who could not be cut, who could not be pierced? They soon realized that the answer didn't lie on the battlefield, but in the subtle art of deception. Strength had failed them, so they turned to cunning. Their plan was as brilliant as it was cruel. They would not send an army to kill him, they would send a woman to love him. A woman of breathtaking beauty was chosen from the Nandi tribe, tasked with a secret mission, to become Lwanda Magere's wife, win his trust, and uncover the source of his incredible power. She journeyed to the Luo lands under the guise of a peace offering, a symbol of a new alliance. Lwanda, a man of honor and perhaps a little loneliness, welcomed her. He saw in her not a spy, but a partner, and he opened his home and his heart to her. For a long time, she played her part perfectly. She was a devoted wife, caring and attentive, learning the ways of the Luo people and becoming a cherished member of the community. Lwanda's trust in her grew absolute. He had no reason to suspect that the woman who shared his life was a dagger aimed at his heart, waiting for the right moment to strike. He believed he had found peace not just on the battlefield, but in his own home. But secrets, especially ones of divine origin, have a way of revealing themselves. One day Lwanda fell gravely ill. It was a common sickness, nothing that would trouble an ordinary man for long. His wife, ever the dutiful partner, hurried to prepare traditional herbs to tend to him. As she went to apply a poultice, she needed to make a small incision to let the medicine in. But when she tried, the blade couldn't break his stone-like skin. In her desperation, a tiny slip of the knife grazed not his body, but the dark, flickering shadow he cast upon the wall. What happened next froze her in place. A drop of blood did not emerge from his skin. Instead, a dark crimson bead welled up from his shadow on the ground. She stared in disbelief. There it was, the secret that the Nandi had sought for so long. His strength, his invincibility, wasn't in his flesh and bone. His life force, his very soul, was bound to his shadow. This was his one, fatal vulnerability. The knowledge was a heavy burden, a choice between the love she had grown to feel and the duty she was sent to fulfill. That night, under the cover of darkness, as Lwanda Magere slept, she made her choice. Duty won. She slipped away from her home, from her husband, and ran back to her people, her heart a whirlwind of guilt and triumph. She revealed the devastating secret to the Nandi elders. To kill the stone warrior, you must not strike the man, but his shadow. The Nandi wasted no time. Armed with this divine knowledge, they prepared for their final assault. A few days later, their war horns echoed across the plains, calling the Luo to battle one last time. Lwanda Magere, now recovered from his illness and unaware of the betrayal, strode onto the battlefield with his usual unwavering confidence. His very presence was enough to send shivers of fear through the enemy ranks. The battle raged. Lwanda was a whirlwind of destruction, his club a blur as he defended his people. He fought with the strength of 100 men, his stone body deflecting every blow. But this time, something was different. The Nandi warriors were fighting with a strange new tactic. They weren't all aiming for him. Among them, one warrior, who had been given specific instructions, watched and waited. He ignored the man of stone and focused only on the dark shape dancing on the ground beneath him. Seeing his chance, the Nandi warrior lunged forward. He didn't aim his spear at Lwanda's chest or head. Instead, he plunged it deep into the earth, directly through the heart of Lwanda Magere's shadow. A cry of agony, unlike any sound ever heard, tore through the air. It wasn't the sound of a man in pain. It was the sound of a legend breaking. Lwanda Magere froze. The strength drained from his limbs, his body convulsed, and in a moment of terrifying magic, before the horrified eyes of his own people and the stunned silence of his enemies, the great warrior turned to solid stone. The battlefield fell utterly silent. The invincible hero was gone, not felled by a stronger warrior but undone by a broken heart, and a secret whispered in the dark, that Luo had lost their guardian, their symbol of strength, not to an army, but to a calculated act of love and betrayal. The grief of the Luo people was immense. They had lost more than a leader. They had lost a part of their soul. They sang songs of his bravery and told stories of his tragic fall, ensuring his legend would never be forgotten. His name, Lwanda Magere, became synonymous with both unparalleled strength and heartbreaking vulnerability. And the story doesn't end there. Today, if you travel to the Kano plains in Kisumu County, Kenya, you can find a massive, peculiarly shaped rock formation. Local tradition holds that this is not just any rock. It is the petrified body of Lwanda Magere himself, standing as an eternal monument to his greatness and his sacrifice. The site is considered sacred, a place of pilgrimage and reflection, a powerful reminder that even the mightiest can fall, and that the deepest wounds are often inflicted not by swords, but by trust. The legend of Lwanda Magere is more than just a folktale. It's a profound lesson woven into the fabric of East African culture. It teaches us that true strength isn't just about being unbreakable on the outside. It's about the vulnerabilities we carry within. It's a timeless story of a hero who was larger than life, a warrior who became a mountain, and a love that became a weapon. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey into the heart of African mythology. If you enjoyed this story, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you don't miss our next exploration into the world's greatest legends. See you next time.